All right, so I want you to think about this daily practice of investing in yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, right? And not letting days go by where you don't. So I understand that one day a week you need rest. You need to take a Sabbath. You need to lay flat and just spend that time connecting with the Lord. And just allowing yourself to just rest. But this is a day of the week in which you rest from the work that you do all of the other days of the week. Because it may be tempting just to zone out and to not do anything. I get it. You're tired. You're exhausted. You don't feel like it. You just want to chill. But I want you to know you will feel so much better if you take the time to invest in these different aspects of your being. The investment that you make on a daily basis, you will reap the fruit of. If you have to wake up an hour or two earlier than you normally would so that you could tend to and invest in yourself, the reward that you reap will be so worthwhile. See, you got to take time to be able to maintain this vessel, to be able to fill your cup up and allow that cup to be so full that people get to benefit from the overflow, that you're not pouring out of your cup that's half empty or that's empty and leaving yourself to run on fumes, leaving yourself to run on E. You got to be able to take the time to make sure you're okay, because you matter. You're important. But sometimes we don't want to do the work to be able to invest in ourselves, right? Because it requires something of you. But you really got to see, laying flat and doing nothing, it doesn't serve you. Zoning out in front of the computer, in front of the phone all day does not serve you well. You see, that's the kind of stuff that leads to depression. All it is an escape from this world that has an impact on you, and you got to be able to deal with you. So even though you may not feel like doing anything, you have to be able to fight against that. I want you to think about those days, and not in which you've had a day that was stressful and you were anxious and you got all the checks in the box. But I want you to think about the days that you have lived with intentionality, right? Where you said, you know what, today I'm about to go work out. Today I'm about to go read this little book. I'm going to just take some time for myself. You know, today I'm going to go ahead and get some devotion time in. Today I'm going to do that favorite hobby that I like to do. And you organize your day in such in which, you know, you're just tending to yourself. Think about at the end of that day how you feel. How you feel so much better. You feel so much better because you can see that you actually tended to yourself. So this is the daily practice that we want to implement. How do I tap each area of my being, right? Because I want to have this holistic health, because you got to understand, holistic health, you investing in that is going to bring you holistic wealth in which you are going to be able to thrive in this life. You're going to be able to thrive because you're actually tending to and working on and building on these aspects of yourself. So what can you do mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually? So mentally, what I can do is I want to read a book. I want to involve myself in something that allows me to think in ways that I didn't think before, that elevates my thoughts, that gets me to reflect on things I haven't before, that expands my mind, that gets me to grow mentally. So I can grow and I can develop my perspectives, right? The way how I think, my thought process, my mindset. So I can go and I could read a book and I could reflect on it. I could look up some articles online on certain topics and be like, oh, okay, I didn't consider that. You know, I could watch a video on, let's say, hey, emotional intelligence, right? It's not enough that you express your emotions, baby. You got to express them well to get the intended outcome that you desire, which takes intentionality. How do I do that? Let me go ahead and look that up. So mentally, physically, let me go exercise. Let me go for a walk and get some sunlight in. Let me move my body in ways in which I haven't done before, right? Let me go ahead and do some really deep stretching. I'll take 30 minutes today, go do a YouTube video in which is just deep stretching. And I will allow myself during that time just to be able to do this deep breath work. We don't realize how much we don't take deep breaths and we just take these shallow breaths. Let me go ahead and do that. Just this physical thing, tending to this physical body. Let me make sure that I eat well, that I have meals that support this light physical body that I want to be able to have. Let me make sure emotionally, right? Dealing with my matters of the soul. Let me just make sure emotionally I'm tending to myself. Let me go out and talk to a friend. Let me go out and watch a comedy show. Let me go out and just be in nature. Let me go out and just take a hike and, just breathe in the elements. Let me just watch a romantic movie, right? That helps me to believe in love again. You know, what are these things emotionally you can do? You know, not just that, but just like journaling. Let me journal my emotions. Let me journal my thoughts. Where am I today? How do I really feel about myself? And allow the Lord to be able to enter in that process to work on that stuff with you, right? Let me write these honest thoughts. Hey, the truth about myself is, let me deal with my emotions, right? Let me deal with my thought life and just take some minutes to be able to think about those things that are on the table of my heart that I need to address, I need to work on. You know, spiritually, let me take the time to be able to worship and pray and read my Bible and journal to the Lord and talk to the Lord and allow the Lord to speak to me. You see, when you're addressing these different aspects of your being on a daily basis, at the end of the day, I'm telling you, you will be able to see that the fruit that you get from living with that type of intentionality is so much more fruitful and advantageous to you than it is just to lay flat all day and zone out. So it's the path of least resistance, right? Like, you don't want to have to do all that work, but I'm telling you, it's in the work where you get the fruit that you'll be able to reap and benefit from. So in this time, don't just take the time to, live haphazardly. Be one that lives with intentionality. All right, so make sure if you like this video, comment, subscribe, and if you feel led to donate, please do so. I appreciate you. Love. Make sure in this season, man, You're not just being reactive, you're being proactive. Go after your healing. Go after this new life in Christ, which is beautiful and abundant. Talk soon.